How's it going, everyone? It is Monday, September 9th, 2024. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take a look at the picks that we had from the last video. First was AMD short. Here was the D1 trade for that stock. Nice grind down. Has a bit of a pop up today. And kind of the clue here is that it did rally up a little bit at the end of the day, but we were able to get it somewhere over here in the 133 range. So that stock is a little bit up. The market is up today. Pins is doing excellent. We had a big move down. We had a little bit of a pop up and then a quick reversal back down, filling in the gap. We're hugging the low of the day. We're not responding to the market here. This could be a nice day trade short opportunity as well. Google. We also got in. I actually took profits on this today as it is approaching a little bit of resistance, and it got actually 1 cent away from my profit target of 148. It got 148.01. So unfortunately, just took profits just above that. And then we also had ELF short, which I took profits around 117. That stock had made a big move down, broke the bottom of the channel, forming a bit of a hammer, may move back up. So we're going to get into this a little bit in the market analysis, but for right now, we have the 4 shorts, and I just taken profits on Google and on ELF. And I'd added to both of those stocks. So let's first take a look at the market, see what's going on, and see why I took profits on those stocks over here. So with SPY, again, on a longer term fundamental basis, I'm still mildly bullish. I think, we still are in for a soft landing for the economy. We don't see any dark clouds for recessions. We have the rate cuts expected to come in this month, and the Fed is going to give some more information on the future rate cuts, how aggressive they will be, how fast they will be, and so on. So fundamentally, we haven't had any new major information. We got some economic releases last week. ISM manufacturing has been in contraction territory for a couple of months, but ISM services is the biggest component. That has been in expansion territory for the past couple of months. We had one dip below into contraction territory. So ISM services also forward-looking. So I think that is in good shape. Unemployment report, got some less jobs added in. There's probably a little bit of cooling in the labor market. But again, there hasn't been any alarm bells ringing, in my opinion. So on a technical basis, we have this double top right here, lower high, booked that compression. And then on Friday, we finally got the follow through the 50-day SMA. Got in pretty early through AVWAP-Q. And I think that we have a chance to test the 100-day SMA, maybe even blow through it this week. And we will have the FOMC coming up later, next Wednesday. So that's the thing that we're going to keep an eye out over there. CPI and PPI coming out this week. Retail sales also coming out on the 17th. Not a lot of major earnings coming out this month from what I see. So that's what's going on a longer term time frame. On a shorter term time frame, we are pretty bearish. This is as bearish as you can get. So -3 bearish. The market has pulled back a little bit here, testing its AVWAP-Q. It usually tests these AVWAPs once it gets that breakout. And it's also at this gap fill over here. So finding a little bit of support at that point. We had a big day yesterday, so we can expect a day of rest today. That's what I'm thinking. The only other scenario, you can see that whenever we get the drop, we do get a little bit of a bounce before we get the next leg lower. So I'm expecting this bounce to last maybe 2-3 days, and then we should get the next leg lower to test that 100-day SMA. Let's zoom in a little bit here to our M30 chart. Here is our steady decline in the market. And I think this is one of the key tells here where we hit this SMA, bounce up, test it again, bounce up, notice the lower high, break through, poke through a little bit here, one more time, market tries to rally up, sellers come in, and then we get the flush out. So these buyers here, these buyers here, these buyers here provide the fuel to get flushed out to that next level lower. So sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3 attempts to break through, a few attempts to break through, but then we eventually get it. So you just have to wait to that breakthrough and know that sort of opinion. You can even see over here, these buyers provided the move to the downside where we formed this level here, test 1, test 2, and then we got the breakthrough on the third try. Okay, so what the heck is going on today? We had a gap up. Market had a little bit of a rally, got smacked down over here, and we noticed that we poked through the gap, but as we were poking through, there's two things that stood out to me. The first was that we didn't get a sell signal on the market, or I guess three things. That's the most minor thing. We didn't get a sell signal. We poked through here, but we didn't actually blow through the gap like we did here, right? See these stacked red candles on heavy volume that we had a ton of momentum. That's what we need to blow through the gap. You blow through here, and then we actually had some follow through selling. End of the day, and a bit of a meat grinder. Here, the red candles are first smaller, more wicks and tails. We get the tiny bounces here. So we get about half of the gap more than half of the gap was preserved. Boom, 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 boom. This is lower volume on the bounce, but we have some steady green candles over here. I think sellers are going to take one more shot. But SPY didn't have as much gusto today on the move down. So I was telling my friend right here, and I actually have the timestamp here at 8:15. Here is 8:15. I said, look, at 8:15 right here, I said, I'm not sure if the market's going to fill in the gap. It's been a bit of a sluggish move down. We don't have a lot of momentum. Could be a little bit of a day of rest. And then we got a nice little bounce higher. Also, this pending 1OP bullish cross. So what is our bias for today? Well, I think I'm a little bit neutral at the moment, maybe mildly bearish. I think I tend to favor the bearish side after yesterday, but I think we could see a little bit of a day of rest, and I would be ready to find relatively weak stocks on this bounce, and I was finding some relatively strong stocks on this move down. But if you're unsure, I would favor the short side, wait for your opportunity. So here's your first opportunity, 1OP bearish cross, close below VWAP, 1025, 1030, right? This is your opportunity over here. And if you're nervous, you can take gains over here. If you're unsure about the market, I actually managed to snipe the low on that, so maybe got a little bit lucky. Now, don't take any shorts here, right? Wait for this bounce to stall, to roll over. Wait for that 1OP bearish cross, and then you have another opportunity to get short. So you're just going to be patient. I think we're going to have another late day opportunity set up. So with that, now let's take a look at the picks that I had. So with Google, again, I had that market sense. I was like, look, I think we might. I'm not sure if we're going to get the gap fill or not. It's been a little bit stubborn. Google as a mega cap tech stock, here's two reasons I took profits. First, we had a big move today, and Google actually continued that momentum very early in the day. So we had a pretty nice chunk of the move down. So that's the first reason. So really just had nice profits, pretty much hit my profit target. The second reason is that we broke through this low minus trend line. We could see a bit of a selling climax. That's the second reason. The third reason is that as a mega cap tech stock, Google does make some moves, comes back to the 8 EMA, makes another big move, comes back to 8 EMA. So I'm more likely to take profits on these candles that open farther away from the 8 EMA. Excuse me. And, I think, hey, look, we could get a little bit of a bounce back before the next leg lower, and I'm happy with taking the profits right there on Google. ELF was a very similar story. The stock had accelerated down very, very quickly, very, very fast. We had a big drop. You can see that ELF is also a bit of a choppy stock, and it broke through the bottom of this channel, so it could be a bit of a selling climax. Notice how the stock has not really dropped with the market here. It is showing a little bit of relative weakness. I'm going to drop in an alert line right here. If we can get through that alert line, we could be in good shape. But we had the first drop in the morning, which is really nice. We had a bounce, and then we had a double bottom higher low. That's when I took the profits on ELF. And I took some really, really nice profits. I also added to that position over here at 124. So we took some really nice profits on that trade. Pins. So now let's see what Pins is doing, and why am I staying in on Pins? Well, Pins had a big move. It compressed for a while. There goes my long trade. It compressed for a while, popped up, and you can see here how it's not reacting at all to the market, holding through the low of the day. So I think when the market rolls over, this could be a great day trade, and it may even add a little bit to my swing short setup here on pins. I wonder if it's finding a little bit of support at this level around 29.09. So I would like to see that crack through. But if the market stalls and this starts to roll over, I'm going to add to pins. And then finally, AMD. Semis have been weak today. Tech has been weak today. Some other stocks have been pretty good. There's been some pockets of strength. AMD is looking pretty flat at the moment. Wasn't super weak. Wasn't super weak earlier. Not super strong right now. I like to see AMD actually get through its low of the day. That tells me that sellers have a little bit of control. After these long red candles, we get a bit of a move back, then a move lower, a bit of a pull back, and then a move lower. So we might see one or two candles of going low, and then on the next juncture down, that's when I would take profits on AMD, probably somewhere around 128 as we're approaching this low plus trend line. So that's what we have for today. Let's take a look at some of the tags. So ASML breaking through that low minus trend line. I like that, but I wanted to see it get through this level. You can see we had some volume is coming in over here. Sellers are pretty active in this stock. So again, if it can really start to get through that point, I'd be interested, but not looking to short that right now. I took a win on Goog earlier today. I'll show you the play that I had on Goog. I took it right over here. I added right over here. And then I actually ended up taking profits on this high volume candle right here, 1105. It did end up getting very close to my profit target of 149. 149.10, or I guess 140. Here we go. Yeah, 148.10. You can see it hit this low plus trend line. So actually did end up hitting that target, but wasn't sure at the moment, so took a nice little win on Goog. We'll see if it breaks through. We'll see if it doesn't break through. But that was a beautiful day trade short. This is a reversal pattern. So what does that mean? Well, we have a strong stock. It had a bounced, right? And this is the contra move earlier, and then we can join the trend when it breaks through that reversal. So typically I like to join the trend when it breaks through the prior day low. So 10:25 would be more ideal. 10:30 would be the best ideal time, although I didn't like the tail over here. That's why I waited for this candle at 10:35. We still poked below, and we closed low over here, so that's why I took it 10:35 as opposed to 10:30. And we had so much cushion in time and relative strength here. You had pretty much even until 11:25. Yeah, so on this candle right here, when SPY was pulling up, you still had this candle on Google holding over. So you had a bit of a time and price cushion to get out of the trade. Another stock I like today is ENTG. So M5 price action so far looking pretty good. What I like about the stock is more in the D1 setup. Let's take a look at this right now. So does tend to trend, is rolling over, broke through this compression. We had a retest of this level, and then we are back below it. So let's just drop this line here. That's what it looks like. This is a beautiful move down. Plenty of room. This is probably going to be a swing short. I'm probably going to recommend this as a swing short for today because it's just so dang nice. It is a bit of a choppy stock, right? Has some ups and downs, so you may have to be a little bit patient. But I think I can certainly get a pretty nice $5 move in this guy. So that is what I am looking at. So ENTG is looking pretty nice. And CC was a beautiful breakdown. We had this bit of a time breach here, and then I think the way to get into it was probably on the 6th yesterday. This is huge move down lower, compressing flat at the low of the day. Yeah, I mean, if it can hold through the low of the day during this entire move and then break through, CC is going to be a really, really nice short. So that's going to be some of my picks here. Let's add this over to our YouTube picks. So I like ENTG swing short. And this is pending a non-reversal in the market. ENTG swing short, CC day trade short. And let's also take a look at SMMT. So this was a stock I traded earlier today. I took a little bit of a loss here. I got in on this candle, then got in on this candle somewhere here, and I got out on the same candle because I didn't love that bearish hammer. Ended up having another little leg in it. Got back in it again at 2022. So far, the stock has not really been rallying with the market. There has been some selling pressure here, so not a huge fan of that. We have a bit of a double top, so I'm willing to give it about 45 minutes. So far, it's been about 20-30 minutes. I like to see it somewhat advance higher over here, and if it can't do that, then I may get out of the trade. So SMMT is very, very nice. We'll take a look at a couple of other ones on the daily chart that I liked quite a bit. This bull volume search is one of my favorites. If we look at the search, this is just really high R volume, and we have relative strength and trade signal on the M15 and the M30. So this is one great example here. If it can get through that high of the day, we could be in business. So I'm going to go through a couple of stocks in the search. Let's look at SFM. Look for stocks that have good D1s here. And drop an alert there. Let's look at ZTS. I remember ZTS. Wow, that is a nice breakout. I traded that earlier today, and now that stock is breaking out very nicely. This might be could be the long pick of the day. It's a little bit choppy, but I do like it as a swing. I love how it broke through that today. So potentially ZTS could be an overnight swing. I don't feel as comfortable recommending that because I think there's going to be a little bit more trade management, but I do think there is an opportunity here for this stock. Just look at some of these alert lines. Yeah, we broke through this low minus alert line. We have some balanced trend lines coming into play here. Certainly some room. This matches up with the gap, 195. So yeah, I like ZTS, and I'd use this as a stop right here. All right. So those are going to be some of the picks. Those are going to be some of the picks. So thanks everyone for watching today. And I'm still going to work on getting those July and August recap trading videos out. See you all tomorrow.